In this video, we're going to talk about how to make money from sourcing property deals.
Deal sourcing is a great way to get into the property game, especially if you don't have a lot of money upfront to start out with. And if you're new here, I'm Lia.
And I'm AK.
And this is our channel where we talk about property, finance, and working together as a couple. So what is property sourcing?
Well, property sourcing is finding, negotiating, and packaging up a property deal in a presentable way that you can then sell on to an investor. A property sourcer, also known as a deal finder, is the person connecting the property seller, and the investor, and then also charging a fee for their services.
Before we get into how much money you can make from this, let's first run you through the 4 things you need to know in order to be a property sourcer.
Number 1, identifying an investment opportunity. So here you want to search for properties that have the potential to provide a good ROI. ROI stands for return on investment. The most common ways that you can spot an investment opportunity are looking for below market value properties and distressed properties, both of which allow you the ability to increase ROI. With distressed properties, that doesn't always mean tired houses in need of renovation. It can also mean distressed vendors. These are people that are usually motivated to sell their house pretty quickly for whatever personal reason.
Number 2 is negotiation. So once you've identified a potential property deal, you can then negotiate with the property seller and secure a purchase price. So when you're securing the purchase price for the property that you found, ensure that you understand exactly what the seller wants. And that's not always top price. For example, it could be purchasing the property within their time frame and moving the sale as quickly or as slowly as the buyer would like. Again, it's about asking people their personal situation. Negotiation can also involve terms of the deal, and this is usually outlined in what we call a heads of terms document, and then that's later handed to the solicitor.
Number 3, presenting your deal. This is maybe the most critical part of deal sourcing. We get presented with deals on a daily basis, and more often than not, I look at the deal for 2 seconds and I delete it straight away. Why? Because it's presented really poorly. The best sourcing agents put together a deal pack that contains these following elements in a well-presented document.
Number 1 would be the property details. So for example, the number of bedrooms, if you've got any floor plans of the property. Also, information on the square footage is helpful too. The location, but not just the area. What is close by? What are the transport links like? What big cities is it connected to? And so on. The type of property, for example, is it serviced accommodation? Is it an HMO? Or is it land with planning permission? And then whether or not this deal is an off-market deal, or is it an on-market deal that anybody has access to? Growth prices in the area over the last few years are very helpful too, and an area demographic, including tenant type, crime rates, and what kind of rent that investor can expect to attract.
Financials is a huge part of this document as well, because you want to be discussing the purchase price, the return on investment or yield, the stamp duty, the legal fees. If you were sourcing something like an HMO, then you'd want to include things like the current room rents, the yearly income, the bills, the council tax rates, and whether or not you were purchasing with or without tenants. Also, very important to make sure you get your sourcing fee in there as well.
Images are really important too, and videos if you've got them. A full property description is a must, and any background details you know of. So if it was a flat, for example, how long's left on the lease. Number 4 is relationship management.
And we can't stress enough just how important it is to build up trust as a property sourcer. When people trust you and you are providing good quality deals, you will always have a huge list of potential buyers. I know with ourselves, we have bought numerous properties with a sourcing fee because they have been presented very well. They've been good quality deals and good return on investment. And more often than not, we've built a very good relationship with this person who has understood exactly what we're looking for and is presenting those deals in a very concise way to us.
And there's huge demand for good quality sourcing agents. And so your reputation is key. So property sourcing is used by real estate investors, particularly those that may not have the time to find and evaluate property deals themselves. So it's a very, very valuable service that you're offering, and it helps armchair investors weigh up a deal quickly, saving them a lot of time, which often they don't have.
In his book, $100 Million Offers, Alex Hormozy says, the only thing that beats free is fast, and people are willing to pay for speed.
So how much should you charge for property sourcing?
Well, generally with property sourcing, there is a fee involved and they range quite significantly. The majority of sourcing fees range between sort of £1,000 and £5,000, and it also is referred to as a finder's fee. The fee usually reflects how good the deal is and how much has ultimately been put into finding that property. As for deciding how much you should charge for your fee, if you are a property sourcer, what is your time worth and how much value are you providing? Ultimately, there's no industry standard, but from what we've seen, the stronger the deal, the more likely there will be a queue of people wanting to buy it. Quite often, I see people source deals which are really, really average, and they wonder why there's no one buying them. If you found a very good deal with a high return on investment, we can guarantee that there will be investors willing to pay for it.
So the hardest part of all of this is building up a pipeline of property deals and finding motivated sellers too. You can do that by scouring social media, checking out Facebook, Gumtree, joining local Facebook groups of your investment area that you're targeting, and just start networking as well with potential investors and buyers. This is the toughest and most time-consuming part of being a property sourcer, but you need to build up your network and therefore build up your reputation as well by immersing yourself fully in the property space and then really understanding how to find, package and present a property deal.
If you're new to property sourcing, a question a lot of people have is, what comes first, the deal or the buyer?
The chicken or the egg?
Chicken or the egg. And there are two ways of looking at this. One way is to build up a pipeline of deals that then you can go out and market to your network of investors. The other way to consider is that you understand somebody's requirements and you go out and you source that deal specific to that individual. So imagine it like me going into a shop and browsing and having a look at what's available and seeing if there's anything that takes my fancy, versus me being very specific as to the item I want, the color, the weight, the size, exactly what I want, and going out to get that specifically.
So picture this. If you decided to dedicate yourself to sourcing just one property deal per month and you charged a sourcing fee of, let's say, £5,000 for each deal, then that's an additional £60,000 in revenue per year for you. That's a pretty tasty amount of money.
It's very tasty, and imagine if you can scale that as well.
Overall, not only is property sourcing a great way to get into the property game, especially if you don't have a lot of upfront capital to start investing yourself, it also works hand in hand with building your own property portfolio. Because whilst you're building your own, you're kind of doing the property sourcing anyway, but for yourself. And you're learning what makes a good deal and you're weighing up ROI and you're doing those calculations. And if something doesn't work for you, you might have met another investor along the way that it would work for them, so you can be sourcing deals that don't work for you and filtering everything down and making money at every place in your journey, which I think is an incredibly valuable skill to have.
Absolutely. And if you are interested in kickstarting your property sourcing business and would like help with that, then click on the link below in the description and I will get back to you personally.
Thank you so much for watching this video. If you enjoyed it, you might also enjoy some of our other videos, like how much cash flow our investment properties make and what we look for when we're going around a property. We'll see you in the next one. Don't forget to like and subscribe. See you soon.
Bye.
Bye.